Hey, L, are you able to see him on Facebook?
That's what I'm trying to see right now.
Let me know when it goes on live so I can put it on the page.
All right.
Okay. Definitely got an audience looking.
There you go. Yeah, he's on there now.
There we go. Can you see me, L?
Yep.
There we go. Can you see me, L?
What's up, people? I know everybody can see us and hear us. What's going on, people? Y'all come on in. Get your popcorn. Recline back in your seat. Be at work. You know what I'm saying? Take a little time. Put us in your earbud. Make sure you can listen live and continue doing your job. All right? We don't need nobody getting fired.
Make sure y'all chime in, yeah, because we're going to get somebody fired today. Yeah.
Y'all make sure y'all share it well. Share. Hit them likes. Share the video. Light up that comment section.
Yeah, somebody getting fired today, yeah.
Now make sure y'all don't get mad and start cussing and stuff now.
No, that's one. We're not gonna play that.
They gonna get you. I'm talking about the people watching. I don't want them to get mad and be cuss at the phone. We can't hear y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, but the people around you can hear you. So make sure y'all stay within you. Keep it cool.
Woo. Woo. Where's Kevin?
I don't know, man. He was on here, then he went off. I think he's doing some back office thing.
Bathroom break.
Might be.
Oh boy.
Man, I caught some of his show this morning. He was talking about racism, and they were talking about the Holocaust and the school situation in Montgomery.
That's what some of the people were talking about. But okay, let's tell the people who you guys are.
Okay. I'll go. I'm Pastor Willie Knight, pastor of the North Montgomery Baptist Church, located right here in Montgomery, in the good city of Montgomery, Alabama. That's me.
And I am L. Milliner. I host the Captain's Quarters show, where I discuss news, politics, hot topics, whatever's going on. I'm going to discuss it, especially if it's dealing with Montgomery or Alabama, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What brought this conversation about? Why did you guys want to have this conversation today?
Well, me and before we get started, I want people to understand me and L are not enemies. Matter of fact, we talk more than what people might even think. We agree on a lot more than what we're about to disagree on. And it was just a conversation that I feel like, you know what? I think that it is about time we as some citizens, American citizens, actually sit down and let's open up that Pandora box. Let's have that conversation that has been censored for years. And, that we just so happen to be standing on the opposite side of this particular issue. So we wanted to bring this thing before, just those that are willing to listen and willing to chime in and give us their perspective and not the perspective we've been taught and told, which we see a bunch of faults and cracks in. So I want to put that out there before we even get started. And you know how the news media can be. They'll paint a crazy narrative of something that is not. I promise you, me and L are not finna ride around and shoot at each other. You won't catch us going back and forth. At least I'm not shooting at L. You ain't shooting at me, are you, L?
No, man, absolutely not. You know, we two grown men. We're on here showing y'all a different side of people who may come from our backgrounds, and maybe some other people might choose to handle their disagreements in more violent ways and more criminal ways. But we're two grown men with families, and we're trying to set a good example for people that's watching us, young people all the way to the old people, and showing them that we can have civil discussion, disagree, hear each other out, and then let the people, decipher which side of the fence they're on. That's what it's about.
Well, what is the issue? What is the issue that y'all want to discuss?
Does racism still exist? Now,
Before we get started, define racism.
Being discriminated on because of the color of your skin. Does that still take place today in 2025? Have we, not only does it still, we knew it existed back then, but just does it still exist today, and to what extent?
Well, the problem is, though, we keep redefining racism in its initial term definition was people who think they are superior to you because of their color. What you describe as discrimination. Discrimination and racism are two different things. Now, they
go hand in hand. They really go hand in hand.
Well, you may be discriminated against because of your race, but the bottom line is that because somebody thinks they're superior to you, that's what racism is.
And believe it or not, we're gonna pick right on up right there. But I just started on just some of just some of it. I mean, when you say racism, there's so many different components to it, but that's just a start where I gave you.
Okay. Now I'm gonna be in the background, kind of quiet, so I'll let y'all. Now the rules of the game. Here are the rules of the game, though, because we have a hard time sometimes with this one. One man speaks, then surrenders to the other man. The other man surrenders to you know how y'all do it. So because it does no good to have a conversation, nobody understands what you're saying.
We doing time limits.
What do you mean time limit? Well, I don't know. I mean, whatever reason. I think
just kind of back and forth to be reasonable for us.
Right. We know what reason is. I mean, if you're going on for 28 minutes, and ain't nobody said nothing but you, that's probably a long time. So,
right.
I mean, just be reasonable. Give yourself, 3 or 4 minutes a piece at a conversation, then go back and forth. Because if I get in this, then they're gonna go long. So I'm just gonna shut up, sit back here, and watch the show.
Okay,
all right,
let's go. El, you want to kick it off, or you want me to?
You can go ahead and kick it off. Because you mentioned racism, and then you gave your definition of it. So let's explain how.
Let's look at it. We'll start from one aspect. We were having a conversation, and of course, we were talking about racism, and so the question became at the time, what could we do to fix this particular situation? And one of my suggestions, and I would definitely like to kick in and start in here, due to the fact that it is crystal clear that we really cannot live together. I mean, we really can't function together too tight for too long, in order to fix this crisis that we're seeing. One of the things that I had mentioned is that, maybe we just really need to totally just separate separate on a lot of different issues. The number one thing I think that we definitely do a better job, or at least separate, because they're never going to do it, is when it pertains to the Department of Education. Now, I truly feel one of our problems is that we don't really know enough about our history, and the things that we do, we don't get the proper credit from. And I think you'll agree with that, El. There's a lot of things that Black people are responsible for that we're not getting credit for. It's not being taught. It's a bunch of things that we're being taught that are really useless to us. And so one of the things is education, most definitely, and when we talk about education, if we want to talk about inventions, if we want to talk about Black pioneers, I do feel like, that right there is a problem and a lack of thereof. And these are things that I feel that we should be taught in grade schools on the same level that we're taught about things that maybe that we don't feel like that is important as they do, their history. So, that was one of the things that I definitely want to start at, and I want to know how you feel about the education level and what's been the curricula that's been taught to the Black and white kids. Do you feel like the history is equal?
So first and foremost, when you're talking about racism and you're talking about education in the classroom, last time I checked, all the students that are in the classroom are all listening and hearing the same information that's being taught to them.
Right.
You would agree?
Yeah.
So if the students are Hispanic or white or Black or Asian or anything else, what difference? How are they getting a different education when they are hearing the same information taught? Taking the same.
I'm glad you said that. It's not the same education; it's their history, their education. English and math are completely equal, but when we start talking about history, that's where the level, the balance becomes unequal.
Be specific. Be specific. What history do you talk about? Like you're being very general. Be specific.
Okay, let's be specific. We could talk about different like Black pioneers. You're not being taught about your Nat Turners. Instead, we're being taught about Thomas Jefferson or somebody else. Somebody else that's, I might say, is unimportant. I don't feel like the level of education, as far as Black history, is being taught on an equal level that white history is being taught. You take away February, which is only 1 month, and that is so watered down. And like I've said before, you can have a Black school board, you can have Black principals, but as long as they're controlling the purse, they control the curricula, they control the narrative. I think the narrative that we're being taught needs to be changed. It needs to be more inclusive to other races, just not Blacks. I like the fact that you admitted that we have Hispanics and this and that in the classes. I think that the curricular needs to be more diverse to better suit those that are in these classrooms. Would you agree?
No. I think that history needs to be taught correctly. I don't think that you need to adhere to a certain demographic because, these people are in the classroom, they look like that. Let me teach history that they would be more relate to. I think that's a totally incorrect, just a detrimental way of teaching history. And that's really the problem that has been in the school system. That's really the issue. They like take Montgomery, for example. Always everything's race-based. Everything in the city of Montgomery, from when you're talking about education, taking the kids downtown, they want to take them to the Legacy Museums, Rosa Parks Museum. Like, it's always beating them over the head with that type of history. So you're skewing what they get to see and what they get to learn about. And so I disagree with what you said. I don't think it should be a thing where you're looking at the people in the classroom saying they look like this. Let me teach them that way. That's in that textbook discrimination.
No, it's not discrimination. It's actually teaching them. It's actually teaching them right from wrong. Actually, and let's go by what you said. Let's go back. I want to go back and revert to something that you just said a second ago. Teaching history correctly. Well, if history was taught correctly, then we would just go right to the Bible. If history was taught correctly, the story of how America became would not have been told. As you know, and we're grown now, we know that Christopher Columbus, that the word discover means to find, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the way that we were taught is that Christopher Columbus discovered America, when in all actuality, when Christopher Columbus got here, there were already people here, which means you didn't find it. It was already discovered.
Just because somebody else was already there, doesn't mean you didn't find something, right? If if you put something in your house and you forgot where you put it and your child found it, and then later on you came back and you found it again, you didn't find it when you were looking for it?
That's not, no, sir. No, sir. You're not going to make that wrong or right. But discover means to find. You found this. When the story that we were taught and told is when Christopher Columbus, he was looking for new spices. He stumbled upon this place here. And when he got here, he noticed that you had Native Americans, which means that you didn't discover it. You came upon it. You might have found a new land, but you didn't discover a new land. It's new to you, but apparently it's not new if somebody else is already there. And that's and that's undisputable. So if we're going to teach history correctly, we cannot use what we've been taught. When we find bullet holes in what we've been taught, it makes you discover and it makes you want to go a little bit deeper. So I think it is fair to say that a lot of the stuff that we've been taught in public schools were not correct. And you were talking about history. Wouldn't it be a blessing if we were taught, just for instance, like Miss Sarah Boone invented the ironing board. If we talked about how Miss Mary Britton invented the home system, like the alarms that are in your homes. Wouldn't it be nice if we talked about if we were taught how Frederick Jones put together the first refrigerated truck, which transports a lot of frozen items from one state to another? Wouldn't it be awesome if we taught that Garrett Morgan was the one that made the traffic lights and the gas mask, if I'm not mistaken? You can look it up. Wouldn't it be a blessing wouldn't it be better if we were to teach them about a lot of the things that we actually did do that you can look up? You got Alexandria Miles. He invented the elevator. You got, matter of fact, let me bring it up to the early century. You've gotten certain people like Mrs. Shirley Jackson, and I think she's the one that invented the caller ID. I could be wrong. What about if we were taught about some of the stuff from, especially with medical, that we're not being? You'd have to go to an HBCU to find out that Dr. Charles Drew was the one that came up with the blood bank. Now, what if we were taught our history on a more level playing field?
You said our history. Whose history are you talking about, sir?
We're Americans, right?
Yeah, but who? So you talking about just American history?
Yeah, that's American history. We're Americans by force,
okay,
right?
So all I heard you just say is talking about Black history. That's all you just talked about. Did anybody hear anything different? Y'all let us know in the comments. All I heard him talking about was Black woman that created something, hair iron or something like that. A Black man that created the refrigerated delivery truck. Like he kept mentioning, I didn't hear anything about Hispanic American, Asian American, white American. I didn't hear nothing. I thought we were talking about American. So ain't it all everybody? So but see, you just alluded to what you really are looking to enhance, and that's Black history. See, there lies the problem with what I was talking about earlier. You're not giving a full scope of history when you're focusing on one type of people and their history. You're leaving out the other parts of history, right? And so here's how I see education. Education teaches kids a skewed reality. They'll teach kids about slavery, but they only teach kids that whites were slave owners and Blacks were slaves. That is not real history. That's a piece of the pie. It's not the whole pie. Let's get more into it. Native Americans owned slaves. There were Black slave owners. Anthony Johnson was the first legal slave owner in the United States land. He was from Angola. Okay, Angola. He wasn't even from America. He moved over here as a free man, moved here, got land in America. It was in Virginia, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all can look that up for yourselves. But he bought land, had slaves. At the time, we were talking about 1620s, by the way. 1620s. He had slaves. The people the government was saying, look, man, you got time limits on your slaves. He said, oh, no, we don't want time limits. I want my slaves for life. He went to court, a Black man from Angola, and won his case to have slaves for life. All right. William Ellison, another person, Black slave owner. There were multiples. Also, you had white slaves that I mentioned earlier. People need to do the research on the Irish when they came to America.
Did you catch those last two comments?
It doesn't get talked about, right? Because you would consider Irish people white, correct?
No.
Okay,
No.
we talked on the phone before. You said yeah, but now you're saying no. You don't consider white Irish and Italians and Polish and German, like they're not considered white.
They don't identify with you guys.
No. I said, how do you see it?
Whatever they say.
Uh-oh.
No, it's no uh-oh. I want to
because see on the phone the other day you said that yes, they're white. And I think most people watching look at Europeans as being white. I mean, because last time I checked, Poland, Germany, France, England, those are all European countries. So white to live there, correct? Anyway, I mean, sir, like you know you believe that because the Europeans came over here and created America, right? And we all look at them as being white.
No,
anyway, so we passed that. So back to I'm not done yet. So back to what I was talking about the Irish. Mm-hmm. The Irish came over and they were treated as second-class citizens. They were called the N-word. Actually, people need to look that up. The Irish, white people, were called N-words because they were looked at as dirts. All right, and they were slaves as well. So when you're teaching history, it's important to give all facets of history and not just pick apart little pieces and feed them poison and say, oh, well, this is all history. And so they grow up and they become your age and have no idea about the Irish and the Italians and other people that were treated like trash. Italians were lynch mobbed. All right, lynch mobbed in 1891 in New Orleans. About 20 or 30 were lynch mobbed all at one time because of the hate that certain people had for them. So anyway, we got to give a full context. Let's not give them pieces of pie.
I want to touch back on something that you said. I made a few notes on it. Okay, you talked about leaving out history. And I think it's safe to say there is a history. There's definitely an important component to American history that has been left out, and it was us. It's amazing. No, and I was reading a couple of the comments that was just made. And I want to go back and hit it before we lose it. One of them said that we can't use the Asian and Hispanic because they are a low population in the school system, which is true. That is actually true. Overall, that is a low. And I want to make sure that we read some of the comments of the people that are chiming in. It is definitely true, but I think we can both mutually agree that our history has most definitely been annexed out of the American history. But then you said something else, and it was kind of funny to me. You said that the Irish were considered to be they were treated like second-class citizens. That's still better than my people. If you recall, we were only considered 3/5 of a man. We were the only race of people.
I'm glad you said that. I'm gonna retort that in just a second. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
We were the only ones, the only race of people that I've ever known and seen that were referred to as 3/5 of a man. No other race was considered to be 3/5 of a man. And like I said, when I went back, and I like the way you said, I noticed the only thing you kept mentioning was Black history. Well, I am Black. And I feel, and Black history is just as important to me as white history is important to you. My thing is, and I'm not taking away from your history, but I don't think that our history needs to be, we should not have to go to HBCUs to learn about Black history, but we're taught white history in grade school. Just like me and you were just talking, and I'm gonna give you the floor right on back. I just pulled the thing with Christopher Columbus because I know that's a sore spot for most Caucasians. The word discover means to find. We were taught as babies that Christopher Columbus founded America. And then you still sat there and tried to justify it after acknowledging the fact that somebody was here. Discover means to find. You can look it up in the Webster Dictionary. It means that you're the first person to see it. You're that person that discovers that area. Neil Armstrong was the first person on the moon. If he had gotten there and somebody else was there, he cannot say he was the first person on the moon. So discover means to find. They go hand in hand. And you just, when we were talking about that, you showed the fault in the education system, which we can find plenty. My whole thing to kind of fix it, I think the scale needs to be balanced. I think we need to look that Black history needs to be taught more. And now that our schools are becoming more diverse, I think the curriculum needs to change. And I mean, we can go back and forth and on and on. I just gave you a few things that I felt like should have been included into our everyday curricula that is not there. You would have to go to an HBCU to pick what I just told you.
I mean, what they told us about what? Like what are they learning at HBCU that they're not learning in elementary school?
What I just told you.
I mean, because they are. Because when I was in elementary and middle school, we learned about George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I can go on and on with people. Madam C.J. Walker.
I want to hear it. Go on.
Huh?
Go on. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I just named like 10 people that we learned about. So like you said that they didn't learn it. You said we didn't learn it. You said we were talking about Christopher Columbus and white
not
history.
At the level. When I said that, not at the level that we were taught white history. And you said I can go on and on.
Okay.
I give you
that becomes subjective when you say, okay, from your point of view, I don't think it's on the same level. Like it becomes subjective. See, what I was alluding to earlier is what's not taught, period. Right? So on one hand, you're saying you're bringing in things like nuance, like, well, it's not to my liking. They teach it, but it ain't as much. I'm saying they're not teaching things that need to be taught, period. They're not even addressing it. That's what I'm saying. So we're talking about two different things. Now when you said that about blacks being 3/5 of a man, I knew that was gonna come up. That's typical, you know, that's always brought up.
But is it a lie?
So let me ask you this. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. See, I can address things directly. It's not a lie. But I would ask you this. Why was that even implemented in the first place?
Nobody really knows.
The 3/5 of a person? Like you don't know why that was implemented? Don't run.
I'm not running.
Y'all, Pastor Tony does this thing where he knows what's being asked and he knows the answer, but he'll skirt around it and try to do all this word salad and like, I don't know what you mean.
Educate me. Tell me why they call him 3/5 of a man. I would like
no. You know the answer. Everybody in the chat knows the answer. Matter of fact, read the chat. They'll tell you.
They're not saying nothing.
Get him a second. To let people let the pastor know, because he's unaware. He didn't learn this in school, y'all. Everybody else learned it. I don't know where he was. He must have been in Massachusetts or somewhere. Maybe they don't teach it up there. But in Alabama, we learned 3/5 of a person. That was for what reason? People, let him know. Kevin, do you know the answer to that?
Yeah, it was a southern issue and northern issue because there were more black folks down south, and if they did it the right way, the South would have won more House in the representation. Because strictly by the how would they do it?
Yeah.
Well, they would do it because there's more black folks in the South, and so what they didn't count you as 1/5 of a person by race, but by number. So the North would have had a chance to win some houses because now, that was one of the few times the black folks were counting and voting.
Yeah, right. Because of what you said, vote. It was a voting thing because they had to control the population and have control of everything going on, the economy and everything, right? That's what it was about. Now, glad that we got that. I don't know how he didn't know that. Everybody else knows that. We all learned that. Anyway, but see that's the game he plays. So knowing that, let's go back to the Italians who are white Europeans, the Irish who are white Europeans. They were discriminated against as well when it came to voting. They were as well in northern states. They were discriminated against because of voting. It all comes down to voting. It's like today, the illegals are allowed to come in here, and because the Democrat they need voters. That's what it comes down to. It's control. So anyway,
did you read what your buddy just said? Your buddy just written. Randy Smith.
What did your buddy say?
Your buddy Randy said the Irish were a threat to the English. They couldn't have been slaves. So when you said that the Irish were slaves and owned slaves, he just
The
disagreed
Irish
with
were
you.
slaves. Yeah, it's a
That's
fact.
not anything. He said they couldn't be slaves. Look at it.
I don't
I
know
think,
where. I don't know what he reading.
guys,
And that's in all. That's in
yeah,
history.
let me.
Everybody knows that.
I
Everybody
don't
knows
think
that.
they were not slaves; they were indentured servants.
That's slave.
Well,
See,
that's not
man,
really slave.
y'all do these word semantics. It's the same thing.
Well, words mean things.
It's the same thing.
And know what the difference between a slave and an indentured servant? There's a
It's
certain
what?
amount of time. There's a certain amount of time that an indentured servant can serve, and then he's free. Slaves, they ain't no release date.
But you do recall earlier I talked about Anthony Johnson from Angola, who was a slave owner, who was a black man, and he had to go to court to be okay for him to have his slave for life. So thanks to him, a black man going to get this court order. But before that, they told him that there was a cutoff. So the white man told him, "Man, sir, there's a cutoff here with this slavery thing." He said, "No, I want lifetime." That's why that happened. It's the same thing. We're just talking about time periods. It's still slavery. It's still a person that's subservient to another person, another man, woman, whatever the case.
Okay. Well, again, people think that, like this guy here, Jason said, "But indentured servant is not a slave, but he is
same thing."
Well, it's not the same thing because
It is.
that's his pay. Indentured servants pay.
They're getting paid.
Right, they're serving for the wages they couldn't pay people to get them over here.
Okay. All right, that's cool. So when slaves had their own living quarters, they had food to eat, they had clothes on their back, who provided that?
Well, now, if you come to my house and steal me, you got to put something on my back.
They ain't got to.
Well, they're making money. They were making. You got to keep in mind now, they were laborers. They made money off of the back of their slaves. And every time blacks tried to break away and form their own, every time they started breaking away economically and coming up on their own, it was sabotaged by white America. And it's history.
Let's get to it. Let's get into it. Let's get into that. We go ahead and talk about it too.
The obvious one is Tulsa, Oklahoma. But then you do have Rosewood, Florida. You most definitely got Elaine, Arkansas. That one was called the Red Summer. And that one right there is when you had a lot of blacks coming up on their own. Remember, now, one of the things we did talk about on the phone, we were talking about, well, what could we do to fix our problem? I said we would have to totally just break away and let us come into our own, let us do our own. And every time they tried it, they were sabotaged by white mobs. You can look it up, Kev. You got Wilmington, North Carolina. This is back in 1898, 1899. You had, a matter of fact, I'll do you one even better. So we did talk about the vote. Now, down in a place called Ossie, Florida, on election day, November the 2nd, 1920, you can look it up, Elle, if you got a few minutes. They were so afraid they were about to elect the first black mayor down there. It was a massacre. It was a big thing. You can go back and look it up now. They were killed by white mobs because they were not going to let this particular person, whoever he was that was running for mayor, get into office. Then you also got Colfax, Louisiana, that was also sabotaged by white mobs. And I mean, and the list goes on and on. So every time that they tried to break away and tried to establish their own, they were sabotaged. Now, why is that? Because it is easier to have you dependent on a system which they bank off of, like still to today, as opposed to you becoming financially independent on your own. If people who control the finances, who's sabotaging us now in 2025? Nobody. We just don't have no desire to go vote, Maurice. We don't have no desire. And sometimes when you look at the choices that you have,
let me ask you guys something here. And you guys are youngsters, so I'll ask you.
Yes, sir.
And it's good to remember. Listen, it is good to remember history. You can't forget it. But let me ask you something.
Yes, sir.
From where we are right now today, what's that got to do with any of that history.
I think what was done back then, we're still feeling the ripple effects of it still now.
Yeah, really?
Let me address what he said about Rosewood and Tulsa and everything. It's interesting how it's always woe is black people. Black people always have things done to them. They rarely do anything, against themselves, make bad decisions, or anything like that. It's always an outer reason, existential reason why things ain't working out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Tulsa specifically. Tulsa, I can argue that it wasn't a massacre, that it was a mutual combat thing, but that's neither here nor there. To the point of what I'm gonna bring up, Tulsa got destroyed, right? Ended up getting destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even know that Tulsa got rebuilt, right? They rebuilt it, and after that whole, the whole massacre that occurred, they rebuilt it, and it was even better than before the massacre, and it lasted for another 20, 30 years until, guess what happened? Black folks started to want to integrate and go to the white folks part of town, go put the kids in their school, go to their doctors, ride on their buses, and all. Blacks abandoned what they had, right, that was thriving. They abandoned it. Who can you blame for that?
It's funny you would say that, but blacks abandon their areas. They're doing it. And the moment and I guess I can't answer for them because I've never abandoned anything. But I guess they figured if you couldn't beat them, join them. And then the moment you go to join them, they jump up and they move.
They can't say that because they were winning before they left.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's a tough one, ain't it? That's a
No,
tough one. It don't make too much sense, does it?
Ain't no meat on that bone, Doc. I'm sorry.
It don't make no sense. But see, you got to research these things, man. You got to be more well read.
I'm very well read.
Now let's get to what Kevin, he was just asking us about. What's the importance of this, right? What's the importance of us talking about what the past? So explain to us, bring us from the past to now. Why is the past impacting us today? Explain that for us.
Because of the backlash. Let's look at it today. Me and you were having a conversation about what's wrong in the black community today. And the first thing we talked about was fatherless homes and drugs. And it's kind of funny. The fatherless home thing, I can most definitely agree with. Most definitely, hands down, no doubt about it. That is a problem in the black community. But we did talk about the drugs crisis. And, it's kind of funny. Both black and white neighborhoods are plagued with the same thing, different results. Now, one thing I can say, I don't know too many people that look like me that know where to go get this stuff from. And me and you had this discussion before, and your response was, who's making them take it? And my thing is, why bring it? Why bring it? When you look at the destruction that the drugs have caused to our community, I think it's a catch-22. Not only are drugs and stuff being brought into the community, but once they've been reprimanded, the results are totally different. See, when we get messed up on drugs, we go to prison. When y'all mess up on drugs, y'all go to rehab. And it's, just millions of cases to back that right there.
Who is y'all? I ain't never been to jail. I never been in jail in my life. I don't know if you say the same. I never been in jail.
Those that look like y'all that are your complexion. Well, no, I ain't gonna say that if you're my complexion, but whites.
We don't look nothing the same. What are you talking about?
No. If we identify as the same, I don't care what you say.
My man blind on here, y'all. I mean, we the same complexion. Lord have mercy.
Oh yeah, but
let's talk about that whole drug thing you was talking about. So there are distinct differences in which certain demographics go about using drugs, selling drugs, all that type of thing. why are drugs brought into the United States to be sold, to make money? I mean, you asked that earlier. Why is it even brought in here? Because to make money. The same reason why your rappers like T.I. and people like sell drugs and do criminal activity, like trying to make money, right? It's anybody.
Hold on. They don't feel they rap about it.
So to answer your question, to make money is why they brought it here. Now, yeah, definitely. Personally, I'm from the humble side of the tracks. All right, I'm from the humble side. I never once in life ever saw a white man with a suit on or otherwise come into my neighborhood, drop drugs on the ground, drop some guns, and say, "Hey, Negroes, y'all know what to do. Get to it." I never in life witnessed that. The only people who were bringing the drugs into the neighborhood and selling it and bringing guns and were black people. I mean, that's just what it was. Majority were black people. So at the end of the day, the liberal mindset, right? The mindset that you have on this right here is, rather than let's take accountability for what we're doing in our own communities, let's blame an like I mentioned earlier, it's always an existential reason why you're making bad decisions and making mistakes and going to jail. When you're the one that's accepting it and you're the one that's selling it and using the product. You always have a choice whether to reject or accept, right? So let's not skip over that and go straight from they brought it to us and now we're all down bad. Our mama's on crack. Our babies are being born crack babies. Like there was a process for this. It ain't no just snap your fingers and it's over with. You have to make conscious decisions, and for whatever reason, people have chosen to go the route that we're talking about right now.
I agree with that to a degree. Now it is the result that kind of bothers me, and I don't think if you are a reasonable thinking person, you could disagree with this. Yeah, it is a choice for anybody to use drugs, but what I have noticed is that when
sell drugs.
But when the rubber meets the road, now the downside effect of it is, and it still stands, we go to prison and y'all go to rehab. And that is a huge difference.
Why you keep saying y'all? I don't use drugs. I've never been to rehab or jail. I don't know if you say the same, but I've never been personally.
Those that look like you go to rehab. Those that look like me go to prison. And over time, that has most definitely been it has been detrimental to the black community. Yours kind of look like you. Go to rehab. And those that look like you,
blacks don't go to rehab. Blacks don't go to rehab.
Not at the rate that whites do. No, sir. Look it up.
But they do go.
Look it up.
But they do go.
Look it up. Hold on. You're very good on percentages.
Hey guys, hold on 1 second. I got somebody who wants to join the conversation with you guys.
Oh man, who you putting on here?
Who is this?
This is that's my other guy. What's the name of that thing you do, DeMarcus?
Hey, how you guys doing? My name is DeMarcus Knight. I'm a small time YouTube guy. I don't do much, but I want to let you know that
is that the rant guy?
The who?
The rant, is that the rant man?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I didn't hear what you said.
Are you the rant man? The rant. You do the rant, right?
Oh, morning rants. Morning rants. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Now I know you.
Okay. I want to let y'all know that y'all are way off, both of you.
All right. Speak on it.
Y'all are not really so y'all don't really know too much. I mean, no disrespect, but y'all missing out on a lot of American history and a whole lot of black history. So one of you guys mentioned about being marginalized today, that we are not being marginalized today. Do you believe that?
Yes.
I think
we are.
Yeah,
we are being marginalized.
Yeah.
Guy, the black don't.
Yeah, blacks are marginalized.
Okay, so I got one question for you. I got one question for you. Okay. What are they doing in Texas?
What are you talking about? Like, you gotta be specific. Like, what do you mean?
What are they doing in Texas?
Go ahead. What they're doing is they're redrawing the district lines to guarantee a more Republican based turnout in Texas.
Okay, in Alabama, didn't they just redo?
Yes, sir. That is.
You're not. So what we're not gonna. So hold on. What we're not gonna do is we're not gonna bounce around questions. I asked, what are they doing in Texas? And the brother in the orange told you. Is that not marginalization?
Yes, sir. It is.
If Alabama can do it for the other side, what are we talking about right now?
What they're doing.
Wait a minute. Now, okay. So wait, brother. So what's going on is what he's trying to do is say a Republican state that's controlled by Republican congressmen trying to marginalize black people, and the Supreme Court said no, that is blatant racism. So they made them draw those lines the way they are. Now, because Donald Trump knows he's gonna lose in the midterms, he's saying Texas, y'all weak, give me 5 more seats.
Now, DeMarcus, wait, hold on, give me a second. Let me say it. So when Alabama,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, did the same thing to pack black people in a district. Okay, so Shamari Figures could win. What's that?
That's 1 seat, but how many Republican opposition?
No. Wait. I'm not. I'm not gonna excuse it to say, oh well, black people doing it. No, what's going on is blatant racism, blatant prejudicial movement. So Republican states, Republican states that control the state legislatures, they blatantly tried to do it in Alabama, and the Supreme Court said that's racism.
Yep.
So redraw the lines to make them fair as you can.
Okay.
Go look at the districts in Texas. They look like spaghetti noodles because there's no way. You look around the country. You look around the country and look at how they're gerrymandered. In 2025, in the last time they were drawn was in 2020. And you mean to tell me that black folk, the reason why black folk don't want to look at, okay, we're in Alabama. You go look at Mobile. Go look at Mobile County. Mobile County has about 300 and some odd thousand residents. But go look at how they drew the representation. They took black people out of Montgomery and Mobile and put them in another district. And you mean to tell me that no matter how many people vote that's black in Mobile, they still lose? That's marginalization. That's black people saying, you know what? Well, that's black people saying, you know what? Forget it. I'm not gonna vote then.
So
that's what the brother in orange talking about.
How should the district be drawn in, sir?
You know,
they should be drawn fairly. Just simple as that. They should, first of all, they should not like spaghetti noodles. They should be
defined fairly.
So, okay. I'll put it to you like this: Mobile, Baldwin County, and what's that? Washington. That should be a district. How about that?
Well, we don't.
Why does the district have? Why do one district stretch from Mobile all the way to Montgomery?
Okay.
Why is that?
Well, you have to have a it's based on population, is it not?
Now,
no.
You know what? I want to say something.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
that's what I'm talking about. That's one brother in the black. Brother in the black. Go ahead.
I wanted to say something. You know what? When he was talking about that situation in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, the way they redrew that district line, they drew Jasmine Crockett out of the very area that she represents. So now she would be in a whole
yes.
That's because she's crazy.
They're going to steal 5 seats. When they say steal 5 seats, when they say steal 5 seats, what they mean is they're going to take the 5 most popular Democrats out of the House and have them lose that seat to a Republican.
Good.
Is that not marginalization, sir?
Get them out of there.
Good.
Get them out of there.
They want to kill babies.
They ain't doing us no good, man. Even Tony don't even vote Democrat.
I'm an independent.
But wait. Hey, Kevin. I know I love you, but you and the brother in the black. I want y'all to answer the question before y'all try to say Democrats are bad. Is that marginalization?
No.
And don't talk about was that not marginalization?
I said no.
I mean, what else you want me to say? I mean, I answered the question.
No, no.
That's actually
right now in Texas. In Texas,
it ain't no more than what Alabama did, sir.
No. But here's the thing. Let's be fair. He's actually right
No, he's not.
And I get it.
Y'all pick and choose what y'all want to talk about. Y'all brought up Texas, but then Alabama, where we live at. Y'all live in Alabama, right? I live in Alabama. So Alabama do the same thing for Democrats, and y'all like, oh man, that's different.
No.
I know. No.
Swear,
They're
man.
both the same. They're both the same.
But you know what is so ironic with it? They're both they're absolute the same. But let's be honest. Shamari Figures cannot move the needle, but he can't move the needle. They know it ain't nobody but him and that lady Sewell from down there in Selma. So they still got the numbers. They gave you a seat, but they still got the power.
We don't
Thank
vote.
God. Thank God Republicans got the power. Thank God.
No.
We don't vote.
Hold on.
That's our problem.
No, we don't.
All right, so I'm going to talk about Alabama and Texas. They are both the same. If they redraw the lines in Texas and they marginalize black people just like they tried to do in Alabama, they can sue on racial discrimination. Now, it's up to the Supreme Court or whomever to say that's wrong. But it's the same thing. The only difference is Alabama lost.
Right. Let me tell you this. Then I appreciate you joining us for a couple minutes, but this is their thing. But let me just say this.
Yeah.
Whether it's Texas, Alabama, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, that draw these jerry-rigged districts, none of that is for you or me or any voter. It is strictly for the party.
I agree.
So don't act like they doing us wrong.
I agree.
All they doing is helping themselves. And when they get elected, because every time we go to the polls, none of us had anything to do with putting people on that ballot. It's not for us. It's for them.
I agree. I totally agree.
Why are we arguing about it?
And going back to the brother in orange, that's what he was talking about. The reason why black people don't get out en masse and vote, especially in this last presidential election, is because they are tired. Black people are tired. You talk about black fatigue. That's what we have. We're tired of fighting for the rights that everybody benefit from.
You can't get tired of the energy to go to the polls.
Say again?
You can't get tired if you don't spend the energy to go to the polls.
Sir, I don't know where you live at in Alabama, but here in Montgomery, man, these black folks went out here and voted for Mayor Reed twice. He's been in office twice. What are you talking about?
And he's not great either. So no, I ain't say
nothing about that.
I don't like Mayor Reed. So let's not even go down that
vote, right? You said the black vote. So I'm saying blacks are voting for who they want in. They voted me in twice.
I gotta let you go.
Whoa.
He's not a Reed supporter either.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool, but they ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah. That's local. That's not.
I hear you.
That's local. That's a local. That's local. That's not national or regional.
It's not like the black ain't voting, though, sir. Like,
no.
We're gonna bust in on your show one day too. Okay? Anyway, hey, appreciate it. I gotta run.
All right, man. Holler at you.
Hey, El, send me his link, man. I want to check his show out.
He can send it to you. I ain't finna send you that link.
Do you know? Apparently, you know.
He on Facebook.
I'm about to go find him, but and I like something that the brother said. He was like, he didn't vote for Reed, and you know what? Let's talk about the voters' turnouts, right? We vote for some of the craziest lines I've ever seen in my life, and then when things don't work out, we're left looking crazy. I'm tired of dealing with the sins of my ancestors.
The brother saying, leave him alone. He had nothing to do with this.
I mean, let these white folks live, man. Y'all always trying to blame them for everything, man. Drugs, crime. I mean, the abortions in the black community, everything the white folks' fault, man. I swear.
We can say that this is a two-sided system. We can say there are different results when we do certain things as opposed to when white people do certain things. When blacks do it as opposed to whites. I mean, it's just crystal clear.
Like what?
I've given several examples, but one of them that I told you was the thing about just being on drugs right here in Montgomery. We can go sit up in the county courthouse. Not even just so much as Montgomery. We can go to some of these drug facilities, these rehab spots. You're gonna see more whites in there than you do blacks, and we both use drugs probably at the same rate, give or take. Now, the thing of it is, until things are completely fair across the board, which we know they are not, education-wise, things in the community-wise, if everybody is being represented equally, then things could actually change. But right now, we know it's a lopsided thing. Brother Maurice asked the question earlier. Well, he made the statement earlier on one of his comments that we don't vote. And when you listen at what Mr. DeMarcus had stated, he told you in so many words why they don't vote. And then when he started talking about the gerrymandering down there in Texas, you started talking about the one here in Alabama. The one here in Alabama, the Supreme Court, kicked against them. Wait a minute.
What, you stuck?
Yeah, brain fart.
That's what happens when you got.
Hey man, we try to push liberal agendas, man. That kind of stuff happen. You get stuck like Chuck.
Yeah, stuck like Chuck. Anyway, it's over. Anyway, it's 12 o'clock. So we need to do this again. I'm gonna replay. Now I'm gonna replay this about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So everybody be able to get the argument again.
Cool.
All right. So appreciate it. We got to do this more often.
Oh, for sure. Hey, thank y'all for whoever y'all agree with. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for lighting up that comment section and showing Kevin's page some love. Make sure y'all follow me on L Milliner. All right. Make sure y'all follow me over there. And the Captain's Quarter Show.
Yeah.
Hey, my daughter trying to ask me for some money. I'm trying to text no and messed around and got myself off the link, man.
Listen, we're gonna play this again at 3 o'clock. So we're gonna replay it. So I gotta go right now. But interesting conversation. That's all.
Yeah, hey, listen. Just so people know, me and Elle are not finna ride around shooting at each other's houses, but these are the conversations that we need to be having. This is the Pandora box that needs to be open. This is not about a Democrat or Republican or independent. This is about a fair level playing field. And everything that was presented was I tried my best to present it from a level playing field perspective. And I think it's just time that we talk about the American uglies in order to make things.
But I will say this, and then we got to go. We cannot get out of our own way because we are so tethered to the memories of the past. We can't seem to get to the future.
Well, that's the aim. That's the direction we're heading toward. Is the future.
I hear you, brother.
All right.
Also, not holding on to that passion, not.
Before we pop off, I want to go here and try to do this real quick, and then I'm done for the day. Mm-hmm. We want to encourage more Black fathers to get involved with your kids' education. Start popping up at the schools. I'm telling you guys this, leading by example. I'm up at the schools. I know Brother L is up at the schools. Matter of fact, we bumped into each other a couple of times up there. So I think if we're going to do one thing positive before we get off, let's encourage more Black fathers going into this school year, to start popping up at the schools and checking on your kids. I think that's
right, man. Hey, participate in what's going on when they have a fun day, when they need help setting up for whatever award ceremony, whatever, man, pitch in a little bit, go up there and make your face be known, and all the teachers and administration.
In other words, maybe we should visit them, and they won't have to visit us.
Absolutely. I mean, in order to fix what we got going on, we got to start doing what we have not been doing and stop doing what we've been doing. So that's going to be one of my biggest pushes. I'm going to ask you and Elle to help push it. More Black fathers in the public schools this year going forward.
Visit your kids at school so you got to visit them in prison.
Thank you.
That's right.
We're gonna redo this at 6 o'clock.
Okay, cool beans.
All right. All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate it, Kevin.
Thanks for